What if I told you that some of the most powerful protein sources on Earth are not in the meat aisle, not in the supplement store, and not even in the health food section? They are growing in fields, floating on ponds, and sprouting in gardens all over the world right now. Plants that ancient civilizations built empires on, that sustained warriors, monks, and entire populations for thousands of years without a single piece of meat. Most people have no idea. But while we are all arguing about chicken versus beef and spending a fortune on protein powder, there are plants out there that pack more protein per gram than most meats. Plants with amino acid profiles that rival eggs. Stick around because number 4 on this list was so important to an entire empire that when colonial conquerors arrived, banning it was one of their very first acts. And number 10 is so protein-dense that a single cup has more protein than a steak. Here are 10 plants with more protein than beef, ranked from impressive to absolutely incredible. 1. Duckweed, the pond protein factory. Those tiny green plants floating on the surface of ponds are not pond scum. They are one of the most protein-dense foods on the planet. Certain species contain up to 45% protein by dry weight. That is higher than most meats, which typically range from 20 to 30%. NASA has studied duckweed as a potential food source for long-duration space missions because it grows incredibly fast, needs minimal resources, and delivers exceptional nutrition. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. It has been eaten in Southeast Asia for centuries in soups and salads. Duckweed got forgotten in the West because we never had a tradition of eating aquatic plants. It is the protein factory that doubles its biomass every 2 days, just waiting to be rediscovered. 2. Lupin beans. The ancient Mediterranean protein, the most underrated legume on Earth. Cultivated around the Mediterranean for over 3,000 years. Ancient Romans ate them. Egyptian pharaohs valued them. Modern nutritionists are finally catching up. Lupin beans contain approximately 36 to 40% protein by dry weight, comparable to soybeans and significantly higher than most meats. The protein quality is excellent, with studies showing cholesterol-lowering effects and real benefits for weight management. Lupin disappeared from American agriculture because soybeans dominated the market. But for anyone with soy allergies or looking for protein diversity, it is an ancient alternative that never deserved to be forgotten. 3. Moringa, the miracle tree. Called that for good reason. Every part of this fast-growing tropical tree is useful, and the leaves are among the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth. Dried moringa leaves contain approximately 25 to 30% protein with all 9 essential amino acids. Gram for gram. Dried moringa leaves have more calcium than milk, more vitamin C than oranges, and more potassium than bananas. In regions where food security is a serious challenge, moringa is literally keeping people alive. It has been used as both food and medicine for centuries across Africa, Asia, and South America. In warm climates, growing your own moringa tree means access to one of the most complete nutritional packages nature has ever produced. The tree that does not just feed you, it nourishes you. 4. Amaranth, the Aztec superfood that refused to die. Amaranth was so important to the Aztec Empire that it was used in religious ceremonies and given as tribute to the emperor. When Spanish conquistadors arrived and wanted to break indigenous culture, one of their first acts was to ban amaranth cultivation entirely. They understood that controlling the food was controlling the people. Amaranth grain contains 14 to 18% protein with an amino acid profile comparable to milk protein in quality. It is particularly high in lysine, an amino acid that is limited or missing in most other grains. The leaves are edible too. Amaranth survived the colonial ban because indigenous people continued growing it in secret, passing the knowledge down in hiding. It is the ancient superfood that refused to be erased. 5. Hemp seeds, the comeback crop, one of the most unfortunate histories of any food crop. Cannabis sativa was cultivated for fiber, oil, and nutrition for thousands of years across Asia, Europe, and eventually the Americas. Then prohibition targeted all cannabis plants and hemp agriculture nearly disappeared entirely for decades. Hemp seeds contain about 31% protein with all 9 essential amino acids in a ratio considered ideal for human nutrition. 3 tablespoons provide 10 grams of complete protein. They are also rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids in a beneficial ratio that most Western diets never achieve. The protein is among the most digestible of any plant source. Hemp cultivation is finally legal again in many places, and the nutritional value is being rediscovered. It is the protein source that literally had to fight for the right to feed you. 6. Pumpkin seeds, the superfood hiding inside the decoration. Pumpkins are native to North America, cultivated by indigenous peoples for thousands of years. Most people who carve them or cook them throw away the most nutritious part. Pumpkin seeds contain about 30% protein. A quarter cup provides 9 grams of protein plus significant magnesium, zinc, and iron. Research shows consistent pumpkin seed consumption supports heart health, reduces inflammation, and provides immune benefits from the high zinc content. In Mexican cuisine, ground pumpkin seeds form the base of pipián, a rich traditional sauce. Indigenous peoples knew the seeds were the most valuable part of the plant. We forgot. Pumpkin seeds are the autumn superfood that has been hiding inside the decoration the entire time. 7. Quinoa. The sacred grain they tried to replace. Quinoa was so sacred to the Inca Empire that the emperor himself planted the first seeds of each season using a golden spade. This grain sustained entire civilizations in the high Andes for over 5,000 years. When Spanish colonizers arrived, they banned quinoa cultivation just as they had banned amaranth. They understood exactly what they were doing. Quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids in balanced proportions, making it one of the very few plant foods that is a truly complete protein. It is particularly high in lysine. It is naturally gluten-free. It cooks in 15 minutes. Quinoa nearly disappeared in the 20th century as modern wheat and rice displaced traditional crops across the Andes, but global recognition of its nutritional value sparked a revival. The sacred grain is reclaiming its throne. 8. Lentils. The food that built civilization. One of humanity's oldest cultivated crops with archaeological evidence going back 13,000 years, lentils appear in the Bible. They fed ancient civilizations throughout the Middle East and Mediterranean. They remain a dietary staple across South Asia and the Middle East today. Dried lentils contain about 25% protein. One cooked cup provides about 18 grams of protein plus exceptional fiber, folate, iron, and manganese. Most varieties cook in 20 to 30 minutes without soaking. They have been dismissed as poverty food when they should be celebrated as one of the most perfect protein sources nature produced. Lentils are the ancient answer that has been feeding billions of people for 13,000 years and asking almost nothing in return. 9. Chickpeas. The ancient bean that conquered the world. Cultivated for at least 7,500 years. Chickpeas contain about 20% protein per dried cup, with high fiber, folate, and iron alongside it. What makes chickpeas remarkable is their versatility. Whole, mashed, ground into flour, or roasted. The liquid from canned chickpeas can even be whipped like egg whites. Every culture that adopted chickpeas created signature dishes because they are that adaptable. Hummus, falafel, chana masala, chickpea flatbreads. The same bean, hundreds of expressions. Chickpeas have maintained popularity better than most legumes, but their full power as a protein source is still underestimated. 10. Soybeans. The protein king. Saved for last because this is peak plant protein. Soybeans have been cultivated in East Asia for over 5,000 years, so important to Chinese civilization that they were listed among the 5 sacred grains alongside rice, wheat, barley, and millet. Dried soybeans contain 36 to 40% protein by dry weight. 1 cup of cooked soybeans provides 29 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. That is more protein than the same amount of ground beef, which typically provides about 26 grams. Traditional Asian preparation methods transformed soybeans into tofu, tempeh, miso, soy sauce, and edamame over millennia. Asian cultures developed sophisticated fermentation techniques that created hundreds of different foods from a single crop. In traditional Asian diets where soybeans have been eaten for 5,000 years, they are simply a normal, healthy part of daily nutrition. They are the protein king that has been wearing the crown for 5,000 years, just waiting for the rest of the world to recognize the reign. You do not need meat to be strong. You do not need supplements to be healthy. And you do not need a corporation to feed yourself. Every plant on this list has been nourishing people for thousands of years, longer than the entire modern food industry has existed. The information was always there. Now you have it. Subscribe for more of what the mainstream does not tell you.